Hello everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp and to the video where we recap any of the games that potentially you missed that we reviewed last month.
Yeah, so the month of February this would be. Not many games reviewed, but then it's a short month, isn't it? Shortest month of the year. So some good games though, and we'll go through them from lowest to highest.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to save yourself 5% on your eShop credit as well, go over to switchup.gg, you get 5% in cash back. Alright, what were the highest scores? Pretty much the only scores on the channel last month. Well, let's find out.
So as I said then, just 5 games to review, and the lowest for the month score-wise, surprisingly perhaps, was Civilization 7.
Yeah, I was surprised to be honest that they even decided to bring this across to the current gen Switch.
Yeah.
It does feel very much like we're bringing it to the current gen Switch, but we want you to run it on the next one.
Yeah, I say surprisingly. Surprisingly in terms of the name, not so much in terms of the almost obvious performance issues that I'm sure you encountered.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is good. I don't like some of the changes. I felt like some of the way it's paced is unusual because things unlock automatically. So like it'll pop up with like, why don't you build this now? Like, and then you click a button and you do it. Like, the whole point of Civilization is that you kind of take your time to do that stuff. After playing it for like, you know, a good chunk of time, you realise that it's trying to take away the tedious moments.
Yeah.
You know, it's trying to streamline, but still give you the control. So it's not, it doesn't completely ruin it, even though it sounds like it would, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it does surprise me though, because back in the past you had things like Civilization Revolution, which were the streamlined version. Obviously this is a main numbered version, so I'm surprised that they attempted that in such a game.
Yeah, I am. I am really. Civ Revolution. You liked that, didn't you?
I really liked it. I played it on the DS and the 360.
Right.
So consoles that you kind of want a bit of streamlining on.
Yeah.
Had it been a numbered edition though, I wouldn't have expected the streamlining, you know?
Exactly. So I came to Civ Revolution. I can't say it. How do you say it? Revolution.
That's the one.
That's the one. And I was so disappointed. Yeah. Because I was expecting mainline on console. Exactly. And I remember just being like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it just stripped out so much. I was like, nah.
Yeah, I played it on holiday many years ago now as a young lad, and it was exactly what I needed it to be. Yeah. Bite-sized chunks of strategy game, you know?
It's like the My Sims from The Sims, isn't it?
Exactly right, yeah.
Just like tones those bits down. But yeah, if you're after, you know, a new Civ game and you're a fan of the last one, you will like it. Like, there's more than enough to enjoy. There's a bit of a weirdness here because you can kind of mix and match cultures with leaders.
Yes, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the new thing. And it's just a bit odd because not the point, but one of the, I guess, selling points of the Civ series is it takes historical figures and cultures and pairs them up and then gives you those historical accuracies. It just, you know, adds something. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having it in there, maybe in like the skirmish mode, but like the main campaign, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things you could choose not to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the score for Civ, which had some performance issues when you get the maps that get larger, it's just, it's not great. It was 67%, so still a good game, but I'd say one for fans and one for a sale.
Lovely stuff. Okay, in 4th place then, we had Undying, which was a zombie apocalypse survival horror game with all your classic elements of crafting and foraging for the pieces you need. And this one had a time limit where there was a certain amount of days before there was an evac, so you had to get to the site on time. And it also introduced the idea of having, you play as a mum who's looking after her young son, and you're bitten right at the start of the game. It's not a spoiler, it's the whole point of the game. And you know you've only got a certain amount of time before you're going to turn into a zombie, and you need to prepare your son and get him ready to survive on his own.
Spoilers, I'm unsubscribing. Yeah, this is a nice premise, isn't it? But I think if you like the genre, you kind of know what to expect to a degree. But I think as fans, we kind of expected that you would eventually take over as the son.
Yeah, that seems like the logical progression of the game, is that that would happen, but that's not the case. And also, there were just a few bits in here. It's one of those games where I applaud it for its implementation of newer ideas. Yeah. I'm not saying they've never been done before. I haven't played enough of this genre to definitively say, but I like the idea of having to care for another character who is, to begin with, completely defenseless, and you have to train them up, and then they do become helpful.
Yeah.
But I do feel like some of the just more standard parts of this genre, it doesn't do as well as other games.
Yeah, so what's the like general setup gameplay-wise then? You start out in a house, don't you? And then you kind of go out and how does the teaching mechanic work? What do you actually do?
So when you go out, you'll have areas that you can visit. Once you've discovered them, you need to repair your car, your van, to travel further. Obviously, this takes up a certain amount of time, and the darker it gets, the more dangerous it becomes. You need to get back in time and what have you. You need to be eating and doing all those things as well. But in terms of teaching the boy, so every time you perform an action, you can have him watch you.
Right.
So you click a button whilst you're performing it. The next step, I think, is him helping you, and then when he's trained up enough in that area, he can perform it himself, and then he unlocks skills that you can put into a skill tree to become more proficient with each of these areas. So it's a good system.
Yeah.
I just think it's more the core mechanics aren't quite as strong as you've seen them elsewhere. So if you're happy to put up with that for the sake of having something a bit different, possibly on a sale, I would say it's definitely worth considering. It got a SwitchUp score of 74%.
Okay, in third place then, we have Tomb Raider 4-6, the Remastered collection?
Yeah,
something like that,
isn't it?
Yeah. These are, let's be real, these are the lesser loved games, I think. You know, you've got the first three, 1 good, 2 very good, 3, depends where you see it. 4, 5 and 6, which they're not called, are they? It was like Chronicles.
Yeah, they had names, didn't
something
they?
else.
Yeah.
Potentially not as loved. I think the reasoning for that, especially for, I forget the name of it now, the one where you start out in Paris, the controls originally were appalling.
Right.
Like so bad. And it seemed to use a different engine that just didn't fit with like the feeling of Tomb Raider, like that classic behind the character kind of, I mean, we all know Tomb Raider. But now with these remastered controls at least, I think you can enjoy that a lot more. So that is nice. But having said that, even with the remastered controls, they're still not great.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a case of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Any franchise that has success, it goes one of two ways, doesn't it? You have that natural wait for a next one, where people, their interest kind of percolates.
Yeah.
Or you have shoving them out the door as quick as, and the games suffer for it.
I mean, we've seen that, haven't we, with the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, this one, as I say, if you liked the games originally, then I'd say it's for you. But if you didn't, are you going to be missing out hugely? Probably not. It's still got a SwitchUp score of 78%.
Into second place now then, and there is a big jump in this, and obviously the first place scores compared to the rest of the list so far. And in second place then we had Star of Providence.
Yeah, this is a good timing to do this list because Glen and I played this one on Friday. It was like a Friday night game. It's a good game, isn't it?
Oh, very good. Yeah, so obviously you'd reviewed it, I don't know, the week before that or during that week, and were saying how good it was. And I'd put it in the upcoming video and seen the trailer, obviously. I didn't really know much about it other than it had existed before under a different name and whatnot.
Monolith.
Yeah, that's the one. But then playing it, wow, fantastic game. Really much better than I was expecting, I must say.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be your take.
Yeah.
Because it tries to like capture the idea of a bullet hell shooter and turn it into that classic roguelite, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And it does it.
Yeah, it does it fantastically well. So you go from room to room, screen to screen, defeating enemies, finding weapons and currency and whatnot. But as you say, it's so much more of a bullet hell shooter than I was expecting in terms of obviously the bullet patterns from the enemies. A bit like Enter the Gungeon, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. I think I like the way we're playing it as well. You know, where you do a run each.
Yeah.
It's like when you're watching your mate on the arcade, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I had a particularly rubbish run at the end and was like, we were like, all right, this is our last 2 runs and then we're done because it's like 2 a.m. And my run was appalling. And I think like the one you did before that run was really good.
Yeah.
It looked like a winning run.
Yeah.
And it's just fun watching that, isn't it?
Yeah, there were 2 runs I had that night that for different reasons were particularly good. Not necessarily in terms of progress, but in terms of the build that you end up with. But then the game just reminded you, didn't it? Like, you're all right, you're doing all right, but at any second I can wipe you out. And promptly did.
Yeah, it really did.
But it's fun. It's fun. I don't mind that, like starting again after that run, and you unlock a few meta bits along the way No, good game, very good game.
Yeah.
Like, good doesn't do it justice. Fantastic game.
I'd say fantastic game, yeah. And we scored it 88%. I think it could have scored higher than that, to be fair. It could have easily been in the 90s. But it was one of those where I felt like the aesthetic wouldn't gel with everyone. You know,
Yes.
it just kind of knocked it a couple of points here and there.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Let's move into first place then for the month. And again, one that I wouldn't have expected. Nothing against the game, just not normally the one that wins. And that's Guns of Fury.
Yeah, this is a good one, actually. This is a Metroidvania that uses... it starts out like a run and gun.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just drops you right into a run and gun section, straight out of like a 90s action film. And then it switches to a Metroidvania with you in prison. And it does it brilliantly. Like, the combat is so good. Like, it's like they took Metal Slug, you know, and just like distilled it into a Metroidvania. And that works really well, while still keeping things like vehicles. So there's like a mech in one section, and that'll be used for the platforming. And the guns are kind of semi-used as your Metroidvania unlocks. So you get your grenades, you know, and you can blow walls up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Didn't expect this one at all. Like, I'd played, I don't know, 20 minutes and thought it was a run and gun, and thought, oh, I can't bother to review this. And then kind of gone away, seen some stuff. I think maybe it was in your upcoming or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then thought, I like that idea. Let's go back and give it another go. And it just, it blew my socks off, if you will.
Sounds a bit like, what was that game? The Messenger? Was it called The Messenger?
Yes.
Where it had that flip.
Yeah.
Where it started as more like a Ninja Gaiden classic platformer, and then became again a Metroidvania, didn't it?
That changed massively, didn't it?
Yeah.
You even like you could switch between like 8-bit and 16-bit.
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good idea, very clever. Now this one, when you said you were going to review it, me as well, I was kind of expecting a standard run and gun that would get in the mid 70s. And then you messaged, said, actually, no, this is not that at all, you know?
Yeah, and you can, do you know what? It's reflected in views, isn't it, sometimes? Because we like look at games and we're like, are people going to be interested in that? And you're not sure, but when it tends to be those ones that score a bit higher that you didn't expect, suddenly get a load of views.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the Star of Providence, I think is on like 60k.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
We'll take it though.
Oh, all day long, mate. And it's nice to have a game such as this come first. So when we do our year roundup and you're looking back, in some years it's Persona, whatever, it's Nintendo's latest, it's this, it's that, you know, that's a nice game to have in there.
Definitely. It's funny you say that, actually, because what's going to happen when Switch 2 releases?
Yeah.
How are we going to do that? Is it going to be ones that were on both platforms, or are we...
Yeah,
we're going to have to create multiple lists. Maybe the 12 days of SwitchUp is going to be the biggest ever.
24 days of Switch.
24 days.
It's been the whole of December.
Oh, can you imagine? It was a nightmare recording this year, wasn't it?
So much work. It was unreal.
You were like on death's door.
Yeah, I was practically a zombie through the whole thing.
And we'd left it too late anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll start that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you might have to, yeah. But yeah, that one, with all that said, got a SwitchUp score of 91%.
Lovely stuff. All right, I'm sure there are a couple of games that we missed out on. I can think of a few now. Things like, it was another like Sim Life game.
Right.
I'm sorry, I can't remember. They look like Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh, I know the one you mean. Yeah, I do know the one.
Yeah, that could have been in there.
It was difficult because obviously it's a short month anyway, and it's half term. Kids are off. It just makes February a bit of an anomaly in terms of reviews for the channel. But hopefully you enjoyed the reviews that we did put out, and do let us know of any games that you played that you would have scored yourself. What would you have given them?
Lovely stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Save yourself 5%, as we said at the start, on your eShop credit, like most of you do, to be fair. So thanks for that. We get a tiny little kickback.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for something else to watch that's a bit different, on my other channel, GB Bricks, I've just released a video earlier today, as it happened, of my recent trip to Legoland Windsor. So I'll take you around the park and kind of do a bit of a commentary as to what you'll see whilst you're there. And I'll show you some of the bits that we bought whilst we were there. So if you enjoy your Lego, or if you're just interested to see things from other countries, or, you know, a bit of a vlog style video without the vlog part, if you like, then I'd love if you could give that a watch. I'll put a card to it in the top right hand corner. Another thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.